So you know that you can make money self-publishing books on Amazon. There's so much money there. You know that there's money there that you can make. You also know how to create a book because it's very simple to do. Just use Canva, use AI, can publish a book in hours. But we also know that most people do not make money. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you 3 habits that you can start today to give you the best chance to make money from Amazon. I'm Jace Perry. I show people how to make money self-publishing books on Amazon. I've made hundreds of thousands. My best month was $50,000 in a month. I'll leave a link to my Instagram below if you want to check me out. I've documented my whole journey on Instagram from when I started with 0 up until making a lot of money. Okay, so let's get started. The 3 habits, they actually begin with C's. Nice and easy to remember. All right. The first thing is commitment. I hope I spelled that right, by the way. Now, very cliche. Everyone says you've got to commit. Now, it still amazes me, like how hard it is for people to do this, because it's very, very simple to get onto to publish a book. You can get an account today and publish a book as a complete beginner. For some reason, because it's that simple to actually do it skews the mindset and people don't commit. They kind of think, oh yeah, I could just do it. I can do that book. I'll wait. All right. There's no like structure and no commitment. I know this because with the clients that I coach, they're very, very capable of creating the books and doing them. But the commitment to do them every single week, life gets in the way. And for a lot of people, you might be working a 9 to 5, you might have a business, you want to create KDP as a side hustle. A lot of my students want to do that, or they're busy parents, or whatever. It's not, a lot of the time it's not a full-time thing. You kind of want to create it on the side. But in order to create it to a point where it can actually make you a lot of money, make you decent money, there has to be some level of commitment. So it's just that mindset of having to commit. And commitment is actually, again, it's very, very simple to do. If you say, let's just put this here. If you say that this is the timeline here, that's your time, and this is how much money you want to make. Now, you might only want to make, like, say, $100 to start with, just to help out with some shopping, right? And you know it's going to take time to get there. It will take time to get there. And you also know, just thinking about it, you could get there with one book, just thinking this is a book. But why take the risk? Like, you want to produce several books to get you to that goal as quick as possible, okay? This is all, we all know this, but no one really does it. Okay, so it's kind of like, in order to reach your goal fast, like the habit you want to instill in your brain is, I need to commit to this by doing a book X amount of time. Now, I would recommend doing a book every week. I mean, with AI now, you could do a book a day, to be honest. I teach that, by the way. Just, there's a link below to my starter kit that will show you everything you need to go from complete beginner to publishing today. Like it very, very quickly. So if you can do it in a day with AI, like a good book, not a color book, by the way. This is a good, like, decent book that can sell for a good amount of money. And you could do it a day, and you know that to get to the money you want, producing more books will get you there faster. Then you just have to commit to the idea of producing those books and doing them every single week, no matter what. Because inevitably this is what happens, and I see it time and time again. Just think this is your motivation, and this is time. You get pumped up, and then to make your money, you think, wow, it's possible to make money on selling books on Amazon, self-publishing, and then time kills it, and it goes down like that. So you think at this point here, you probably maybe like publish 1, 2, 3 books, then they might not sell, or you find they're a little more like tedious to create, boring, something gets into your workflow, starts decreasing your motivation. Normally when you don't make money as quick as you think, okay, then it goes down, and then you might do one here as the last thing, and then mostly people just end up going down here, either stuck there just publishing a book every month or not really a great book, or just quit. Okay, what you need is this one here, where you just constantly, you are just publishing no matter what. So your mindset is kind of like this. This is where you want to be. I'll just zoom in a bit. You want to just keep publishing no matter what. So it's that commitment to just publish. That if you were to do just that, you will eventually get to your goal. It's like it's nearly impossible not to, because if you're just constantly publishing every single week, then the chances are your books are going to get better by default, and you've got a volume of books, so it's inevitable, especially with the amount of traffic and money going through Amazon, it's inevitable that you're going to get to your goal, whatever it is. It could be that 100, could be 1,000, could be 10,000. Right, so that's the first C, is commitment. Like, just commit and do it. The second C is, I'm going to call it change. I was going to call it improvement, but then I couldn't do 3 C's, right? Right. The second C is change. So just think that you're at this point now. This is you on your way to however much money you want to make, and you're just publishing a book every single week. Very, very consistent. You're very committed and consistent, actually. I was going to put committed and consistent, but it's too much. You're very committed to publishing a book every single week. Then all you need to do there to really maximize your chances of making money fast is just change the next book a little bit better than the last. So this one is maybe you just change it by 2% or something. You just spend a bit more time. I suppose it's a bit difficult calling it by percent. Just say you spend, I don't know, half an hour. Let's call it that. Just say you spend 30 minutes more on the title than you did on the last one. You research titles. Just say on this one you spend 30 minutes more on the cover. So you cover title. You spend a bit more longer on your AI, just producing more and more cover concepts. You might ask a few people in your niche, like, what do you think of this book, this cover? Just say in the next one, you're in the same you're in the niche, and you spend 30 minutes just on Amazon, just looking at other books while they're selling. All these little things you're doing, they add up, right? And this is the thing: if you're committed to doing this every single week, and then every single week you're making a change, a small amount of change, it builds up. And it's these little things that really make the difference, because you can't really see them. You don't get immediately rewarded, but you can bet that there's out of all the people that are not selling books on Amazon, I bet you none of them are doing this. See, you put yourself in the levels of the higher tier, like the people that are actually making a lot of money. I know this because I make a lot of money. I know this because my coach has made a lot of money by just kind of really trying to increase your craft at creating books a little bit every single time. It will compound. So you just do that little bit and don't expect anything off it. Just think, I want to make my books better and better. I want to get good at creating books. Then you're doing it every single time. You're getting better and better and better. This all compounds. By the time you're over here, at this point here, you think just over these 6 books, you've added 30 minutes of title skills, 30 minutes of cover skills, 30 minutes of research, another 30 minutes here, and another 30 minutes here. So that's nearly 3 hours of additional skill directly put into your new book. So you can bet that this book here is going to be way better than that book there, and therefore give you more chance of making more money. And it will be. My first book that I published after coaching, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was the nuts. This book was the best book ever. I looked at it, I was just like, wow, proud father, looking at it. Wow, Jace, you smashed it. This is as good as it gets. Okay? About 5 or 6 books later, I look back at that book when I'm actually making tens of thousands now on my 5th or 6th book later down. I look back at my first book, I had to redo it. I redone the cover. I redone the A+ content because I've improved since then. This is something that I had to go through. I had to go through that journey. No one could teach me that. To then look back at my own work and think, wow, that book wasn't actually that good. But at the time I thought it was good. So if you commit and you start changing along the way, you will be in a better position later on and you will notice it. It will be obviously noticeable how much you've improved. And then things start clicking a lot more, especially by here, because you're probably making sales at that point if you're constantly publishing and getting better. Okay. Right, the last thing, and people that subscribe to my channel will know the last thing is one customer. One customer. Now, when I say customer, I mean like a type of person. So just say you pick dads. Dads. You just stick to that one niche because there's enough money from one customer on Amazon for you to make a lot of money. Like definitely get you into your first 1,000. You could do that with one good book in that niche, but also beyond that, right? And two, when you're beyond 1,000, then kind of like you kind of know how to sell to a customer as well. So you could switch to other niches, but to start with, definitely one customer, right? Stick to one customer. Now, why is this important? If we just look at what I've just drawn here, all the things I've drawn in, the commitment, change, customer, there's synergy. See, there's a commitment. You're doing it every single week. You're changing. You're making things better every single week. Then if you put on top of that, you're just sticking to one customer. So now you're committed to making books for that one customer. You're committed to changing your books to be better for that one customer. And it's just for one customer. Your knowledge for that customer and how to sell to that one customer will also increase. So that all compounds with everything else. And you just become a beast at making good books from that one customer. And that's where the money is. Because you're going to make if you want to make long-term money in books, in creating books for a customer, they got to be good, right? I only made $50,000 in a month because my book was amazing for that customer, right? So if you don't know, two of my books made me that 50,000. Both books, amazing for those customers, right? So if you get really, really good, you can see the amount of money you can make. I'd only say one thing, just make sure this customer has money, because there's no point picking a customer that's not actively buying books on Amazon, that isn't spending a high price on Amazon. Like, make sure you're very specific with a customer, make sure they're making a lot of money. If you do that and you do all these other C's, it is logical that you will make money. The tough bit is sticking to it. Okay, like I said, if you want to get started, I've got a starter kit below. Just grab that and we get your first book published today, and then you can build on the commitment, you can build on changing the books to make them better and better, and I'll help you with the customer in that anyway, in that starter kit. You could just make sure you're sticking to one of these customers and just keep it up. Eventually, there's no reason why you can't make money. It's very, very logical in my mind. Like, very, very logical. And we know that if you do the opposite of this, you're not going to make any money. So you might as well do this. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Cheers.